Boys and girls, tonight me and my bud Sergio, we decided to unbox and overview this super tower from Corsair. It is the Obsidian series 900D case from Corsair, as I said before, and it's so big that when done, when you put all your components in, you need too strong to handle it because it's huge. Well, long story short, let's start with the first, the front side of the case. So just, I left the unboxing part to you as well, so you can see how it's done, how it's packed. It's well protected. The carton box case is quite big, quite huge. So this is the front part, nylon, which is there to protect all these compartments from opening and falling apart. So if you pull, it comes right off. It has a beautiful brushed aluminum case, and this part is indeed made of aluminum. So here we have at the top the front panel, which opens up like this, and we have the microphone, yes, it's labeled here. It's microphone, headphone jack, 2 USB 3 ports and 4 USB 2 ports, the reset button and the power button, which is exposed even if you close this compartment as well. We have 4 5¼ inch bays, and here's the interesting front part, which comes off if you pull it. So it comes off pretty easily. Brushed aluminum, as you can see. Amazing finish. And here we have a dust filter, which hides behind it pre-installed fans from Corsair. So it's, if you push it, comes right off. It's a dust filter which you can take off, wash it if needed, so it's pretty convenient. And here we have 3 120 inch fans from Corsair that are intake, so takes in the air from the front and exhausts it at the back. Here are some holes at the sides, if you can see. So the air comes from the sides. When this panel is here, the air comes from the sides and goes through this dust filter, thus protecting it from the front, from the dust, at the most exposed part of the case, which is for intake. So this case comes with 4 pre-installed fans, which is 3 at the front, 3 120 at the front and 1 140 at the back. There are options for many more fans, which we are going to see as we go check the case. So let's close the front part of the case and turn it to the side. So it has 2 compartments. The top compartment, where we have the large window cutout, and the bottom part, which there is a clip, so if you not open it up, it just drops down. And this window cutout, when you click here, it should come off. Yes, because there are this nylon protection tapes, so you can take them on, as well as this one here, just to make sure that you can clearly see how good it looks. And we have more tape on the outside. Yeah. If we take it off, we can see that it's tinted, so slightly tinted, so to make the internals less exposed. There is one thing that I didn't like very much about this window is that it exposes the whole thing. Whereas I would personally prefer to see a window up to hard drive cages, because I don't want people to see my CD-ROM cages and hard drive cages here. But it's a personal taste, so people might disagree with me. Let's open up this dust filter here as well. So for people that would like a water cooling setup, there are tons of options here. There are brackets here that screw to the bottom part of the case, which you can unscrew, install them here, and install a 480mm radiator here at the bottom part, horizontally. For that you can remove these hard drive cages, which from the factory you receive 3, so 1, 2, 3 for 900 hard drives initially, but you can get another hard drive cage and install it here, so you can have 4. Or unscrew this one and put it at the top part of the case, so you can have different layouts to save space, or to make sure that you can install bigger, thicker radiators at the bottom here, and have this part for your hard drives. Or what you can do, which we're gonna see later on, you can unscrew this hard drive cage and have a 240mm radiator here installed at the back side. But let's get to the bottom part again. There is a dust filter that comes with the case, which can be installed at the bottom part of the case here. And if you take this metal part off, then the bottom part is going to be, there is a grill, and if you install the radiator here at the bottom, and your fans will sit at the front or at the back, they're gonna have more air intake from this side or exhaust. So for this we can unscrew all the screws that hold this metal part here and protect it by this dust filter. As we can see, there is one rail separating the bottom part from the top part. We have space for a large power supply here, which we are going to see later on, how we can fit it and how it's going to look. We have tons of space for any type of motherboard. It can fit micro ATX, ATX, eATX, any type of motherboard that you might think of, this case can fit. And we have a large CPU cutout here, so that we can install a custom CPU cooler without the need of to take off the motherboard. And we have high quality rubberized grommets here for cable management, as well as cables that are designated for your front panel. So it's USB 2, two of those, 2 USB 2 for your 4 ports at the front, front panel audio, USB 3, it's a 20-pin USB 3, and LEDs and switches at the front part of the case. And apart from that, here in this cage, which when you open up, you can slide it out. We have a small box with different screws and tools that are needed to screw and to fix all the fans and cables that you might have, some zip ties, standoffs, etc. Let's put them aside. The cages themselves are plastic, so can be easily bended if needed, and can fit both 3.5 and 2.5 inch hard drives. So it's conventional hard drives as well as SSDs if needed. Okay, let's slide it back in. Close the case. This part is toolless, so if you would like to fit a CD-ROM, you don't have to screw it in. You just can slide it in and it's gonna be clipped on. Here we have option to install more fans if needed. So to cool this area, you can install two 120mm fans. Here, the way it is now, we can install only one because it's both screwed directly on the side of hard drive cage. So I guess we'll get the camera closer for you to see the internals, to have an idea how it looks like. Alright, so as I said, here are the grills that for air takeoff for exhaust. Here's the 140mm exhaust fan, the cutout, and here as you can see we have some cutouts which don't have grommets. It might be disappointing for some, but I think this can be covered by the radiator if you put a radiator here. And for this we have a couple of radiators that we can show. Okay, so let's try some radiators here. Here we have some IKEA water blocks, quite big and fat radiators. So if we fit it here, it's a 120mm, triple 120mm radiator. So it's 360 long and quite thick. It's around 50mm thick. So even if you have fans here as well, even in push-pull, it's gonna fit. So there is lots and lots of headroom in this case for any type of setup. So if you can put one here if you remove this hard drive cages, and you can have some space here, or you can even put one 480mm, which will come up to here, but you need to make sure that you have enough space for your tubing and for all your reservoirs. You can also feed at 240mm radiator here. It can also be fitted on the other side, which we're gonna see later on. And you can also fit a radiator here, but it's, you have to remove these hard drive cages. So you need to make sure that you have enough space for that. Ideally, you should have a thin one, because it has pre-installed brackets, and you should make sure that you have enough space for that. So one more thing that I wanted to mention is that we have rubberized pads here. So if you close these cages, they never scratch the case, and it's quite some kind of dampening that happens when you close it. So it's nice to see that Corsair thought about these pads as well as this protective plastic, which also helps you to avoid scratching. One thing that annoys me a lot is that all these PCI cutouts, which we have 10, there is no option to put a screwdriver here to unscrew it, so you have to do it by hand. In some cases screwing it by hand is not so sufficient, so it would be great to see you know, some kind of solution to that. But it's doable, so let's not concentrate on that. So as I said, we have an option to install a power supply here, or even two power supplies. You know, if you plan to have something monstrous that you might need two power supplies, or for failure reasons, so you can put one here and one here on the side. You can put up to 300 millimeters, so 30 centimeters power supply in here. There is enough space for that. But in that case, you will not be able to put a big radiator on the other side. 240 is going to be the maximum that you can put. So you have an idea how it is. And you will have enough space for your cable management. And as you can see from here as well, there is a dust filter at the top, and you know, there is a special way to undo that. In any case, there is a dust filter at the top which can be taken off and washed to preserve all the parts, internals clean, and you know, breathe better. And as you can see, we can also take off the front panel, 5.25 inch compartments by pulling off this plastic. But as you can see, there is a bezel left. So if you put your CD-ROM or front part reservoir here, it's not gonna look so nice. So if we take all these parts off, and thought of something, you know, to make it match the whole build. But you know, it's small things that you shouldn't concentrate on. So let's get back on the rear part of the case. Let me turn it. Nothing special here. Here we have the motherboard input-output shield, all the PCI Express ports, the power supply cutout, the second one which can undone by these screws, and so you can drop it here and move this cage to this side. In case if you plan to have your radiator on this side, then it will be more convenient to move the power supply to this side. And let's move to the back side of the case. Here we also have a drop down door, I would say, also with the dust filter provided, magnetic dust filter. So it's second part of this case that provides magnetic filter, and you can undo this 8 screws in similar manner to the other side, and then you will have this mesh exposed and your fans breathing through this dust filter, thus providing you enough air for your radiators. Alright, let's open up this side panel as well, which is made of metal, so it's not flexing, it's quite strong to withhold any kind of stress. And we have this, you know, the rear panel, rear part of your case, where we're gonna have all the wiring and everything going on exposed. So it has around 2.5 centimeters space for your wires to be hidden here. Here we have an ATX power extension here for your 12 volts for your CPU power, and clips, you know, helping you to route your cables through your back panel. Here we have enough space for your radiators, 480 millimeters, but if you drop a power supply in here, so it's going to be screwed from the other side, so if you drop your power supply here, there's going to be it's not going to be enough space for your radiator, so better think of 240 millimeters just to make sure that everything has enough room to breathe. Or you can think of putting one here, but for that you need to remove all these hard drive cages to be able to fit your 240 millimeters radiator, but that's again that might be a problem because it shouldn't be so thick. You need to make sure that all these cages are removed, otherwise, you know, it's not possible. One more thing I wanted to say is that, you know, you have enough room here to breathe from underneath for your power supply at least, but it also it is going to suck in dust. So let's put it on the side to see what we have down here. We have rubberized feet here. These are the clips from your cages, radiator cages, and this is for your power supply, so you can move it to this side for longer power supplies. And these are the cutoffs for the radiator cages in a similar manner that we have here on the back side. You know, this case is going to be rough to move around when you have all your components installed, but you know, you cannot install wheels on this kind of case because it's not gonna look nice and it's gonna be too tall. Anyway, let's take a look at the top part as well. Okay, so it needs more force to open it up. And here we have the top part, which, as you can see, you can install your radiator like so. So the 120 millimeters wide and 360 millimeters long. I would personally not recommend installing a 480 millimeters radiator because it's gonna be so tight in here that, you know, it's gonna affect your cable routing and so on. So it's better to have something a bit smaller and maybe install more radiator at the bottom part of the case instead of having a monster radiator at the top, because you're gonna have difficulties installing your fans as well. So I think it is pretty clear now. Maybe let's get to the conclusion and say a few words about this case and what we have seen today. So this is a huge case which is great for water cooling enthusiasts, any kind of water cooling enthusiast. But if you are a guy that wants an air-cooled case, maybe a small radiator or something like, you know, Corsair H100i or similar closed-loop all-in-one CPU water coolers, then I would not recommend going for this case, because this is the case for people that want to customize their water cooling setup, want to drop in 2, 3 or maybe 4 radiators and have all their components water cooled, including CPU, motherboard, graphics cards, RAM memory, hard drives. You can water cool absolutely anything that you can imagine in a computer setup, because companies, for example, like IKEA Water Blocks, Beats Power, you know, all these companies, they provide enough water blocks, you know, for any type of component. So if you want to make a water-cooled setup, this case is for you. It has enough room for anything. It gives you the freedom to think, to imagine, and to do your own setup. And there is room for anything, absolutely anything. There are a few things that I did not like. There are not enough dust filters at the back because if you don't have a positive pressure within this case, it's gonna be sucking in all the dust like crazy because just the backside is open, so it's gonna be sucking in all the dust. There are some magnetic dust filters that are out there, third-party magnetic filters, but they cost around 100 euros, and it should be already included with the case like this one. Have not to have the internals exposed to the dust. And I have noticed that this is a tendency with latest Corsair cases, similar to Corsair, the Air Series 540 the case, which also doesn't have all the dust filters that we reviewed earlier. So it's a magnificent case. I can recommend it to all the enthusiasts, and we're gonna build a client's water-cooled setup with it, and we're gonna show it to you. So if you want to see it, please subscribe and stay tuned. Just to see how it is and how it's gonna look, everything. For now, if we forgot something, please comment in the section below. Let us know what you think about this kind of cases. If you have a setup, maybe send us an email or share it with us, so we have an idea maybe or something we can help you. But for now, thanks for watching and hope to see you soon at our channel. Bye bye now.